We talked about Andrew Tate. Let's watch this fucking Ethan Klein Nexium cult member.
The ninja.
Jiu-jitsu shit.
Yeah.
Company Nexium. He was recently featured in the 3rd episode of the documentary The Vow on HBO. We've talked about The Vow on this show. Now, he said, I recently saw your coverage of poking holes in the Andrew Tate narrative, which is true. Now, I've been critical of Andrew Tate, but I think he does a lot of good things too. And it's just not fair. All he wants to do is help a generation of men, and then so what? He's the bad guy? Men need
there is a direct line between there's a direct line between Andrew Tate, his victims, and his fandom, and Nexium. Okay? It is identical. The methods are very similar, and the output is also pretty similar too. It's just that Nexium wasn't as popping on social media. So Ethan eviscerates this cult member. For those of you who don't know, this was a cult that basically also started with self-help shit that turned into a sex cult. Ethan is going to have a conversation with a cult member who's trying to run PR for the cult itself. And I think he did a pretty good job with this. So let's take a look.
Also, I want to Mark, the one thing that I find really interesting about Mark is that through Nexium and with Keith's teaching, Mark, who has Tourette syndrome, is complete. He just said, I'm done. He did my mind.
He faked that, by the way. He didn't have Tourette syndrome. But that was a big component in justifying the truth about, or selling the truth of the cult.
And mine is also more powerful than matter. So why did you reach out to me? I guess first of all,
yeah, he looks like Austin to an uncontrollable degree. It is weird, dude. He looks exact
with Keith and Nexium is that there has been basically was a hate campaign against.
Bro, he's literally Austin through the Chad filter. It's just so weird, man. It's so weird, dude. It's yassified Austin. It's freaking me out, dude. I can't look at his face. It feels so strange, dude.
Was vilified in the media.
I actually really support Nexium. I think it's super interesting what they've been able to do. I want to say Andrew Tate.
What an interesting take to just even say out loud.
I totally poke holes in that. I don't know if you've been following the case in Romania, but there's so many red flags that says he's innocent. I don't know if you've been following that.
A lot of similarities in the fact that we live in a time that if you make someone a monster in the media, it's guilty. Basically you're guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
You then the authorities can then ultimately do whatever.
Okay, well, but he was literally guilty in a court of law. He was proven to be guilty. He's in jail, for the record.
And there's not a single charge of Keith Raniere having sex with someone.
Well, let's see here.
What?
Count two.
What?
Let's see. Sexual exploitation of a child. He was convicted of that, right? Child
pornography. Yeah, so those were all the different charges.
Okay.
But even with
okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just to be clear though, even with all of these horrific charges, sex.
Dude, Ethan, for all of his weak moments, where he says, wild shit. This is Ethan Klein at his fucking best. Okay, when you put him up against an absolute demon, okay, an absolute demon who is defending a convicted sex trafficker, child pornographer. Okay, he is so fucking good at just trolling the literal living shit out of a dude like this who just made a major mistake. A major mistake of not doing his research and coming on this fucking show. Dick riding is crazy right now. You'll understand why I'm saying this when you watch this video.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to make something very clear. I don't support sexual assault against women in any way.
No, I know.
Any of my friends who are out there.
So what's the argument? But young girls that are 15 is what? Free reign? What's this motherfucker saying? He's choosing his words very carefully. He's not women. But 15-year-olds though, it's 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds, that's different.
I just want to make that very clear as it's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad he made it very clear. And then the butt. Dude! He said, but. That's wild. That's a wild thing to say but over, dude. How about you keep the but part of the conversation locked up, locked away?
Sexual exploitation of a minor, which is probably one of the most egregious charges somebody can get against them, charged against them, which ultimately is...
Everybody knows it's literally illegal to find further evidence. Like, sorry, when you're doing an investigation, you can't find additional evidence. Oopsie, it just like doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Investigations immediately must stop. Halt! Cease your investigations into the matter now.
A death sentence for many people.
Yeah, and just to go back to what you're saying, 55 days before trial, it's like, when did they have the time to investigate that, you know?
Well, they also had this hard drive.
During the investigation and discovery period, it is illegal to discover new evidence. Yes, that's what he said. 7
digital forensic experts, and this is what's incredible. 4 of those 7. 4 of the 7 are former FBI.
Before we go down that thread, I just wanted to mention, and I don't know if this is an issue for you guys, but there was 15 other victim impact statements from all different individuals. So that's like, dang, how do we get over that?
Again, if we had like a 3-hour podcast, I can go.
How does he not understand he's getting cooked? Which is crazy. Like Ethan doing a slow burn and just like very slightly releasing the gas valve. Just like ever so slightly. Like how does he not recognize that this is a hostile environment? How much of a fucking cultist are you that you think other motherfuckers also are just going to sit there and be like, wow, I know the crimes that this person has committed. I know the crimes that I'm going to sit there and fucking defend. And he doesn't even realize, like, at least he should have had, like, I don't know, he should have done his due diligence. He did so much. He did so much work trying to defend, like, child pornography and no work to find out whether or not the show he was going on was going to attack him for it. It makes no sense.
Scientology is the same way, and they get vilified too. They have tons of famous people, tons of rich people, and it's unfair that Scientology is vilified, don't you think?
I haven't taken Scientology. Right, okay, I don't agree with...
Oh my God, Ethan just literally signed this dude up for Scientology. He's going to like investigate Scientology immediately after this interview is over and become the latest cult member. Oh my God. He's like, oh shit, there's another cult out there? That's crazy. What the fuck am I doing defending Keith Raniere when I could just be a part of Scientology?
Yeah, but my point is I don't agree with character assassination,
right.
Or speaking badly about a group just because they're different or you don't like them. But the reason I mentioned about the 17,000 is that if you actually look at the trial, in the NXIVM trial, there's actually, of the 17,000 that were even claiming they were victims of a crime.
So the only,
3 out of 7.
I mean, dude, you can't argue with those. Dude, he only predated 3 children out of 17,000 students. I mean, this is literally you fuck one goat, but for pedophilia, okay? It's like you go your whole life without fucking a goat, and then you fuck a goat one time, and everyone calls you goat fucker. But instead of goats, we're talking about children, okay? That's insane. What an insane argument to make. But he's making it brilliant. Actually brilliant, dude. Fucking, he said... He said, think about all the people that he hasn't sexually assaulted.
Well, that's what they're claiming. But
right.
My point is that if you want to look at the reality, if you even want to say that everything that happened in the trial is true, this is a man who's...
Like, what is he saying? Like, is he saying that, like, the 15-year-old girl was, like, asking for it? Because, like, gross, okay? Somehow a fucking level that I did not think the sex cult victim / also brainwasher. This guy's not a victim either, by the way. This guy's like literally doing advocacy for the sex cult. So like, remember that. Is saying
now convicted. The child pornography evidence was to a scientific certainty tampered with, and also planted.
That is very
and some
concerning.
Of the evidence points, and some of the evidence points that some of those well, the ultimate goal is trying to investigate these crimes.
Right.
There's clear, probable, beyond probable.
Okay, I got to say something here before we continue. I will never, ever in a million years take the justification that Ethan didn't know what he was doing ever again or could not control his urges ever again, because this motherfucker is shutting down like a goddamn steel trap. Okay? It's been like 20 minutes and he hasn't fucking caved or broken character one fucking time, bro. If you can do this for this interview, you can also get away with like a 2-hour broadcast where you don't say things about the NRA. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Come on, dude. He is so tapped in. He is so laser focused. If you get away with this level of mischief, you know, you should be able to control yourself about, you know, the NRA.
But I think that because they did that, we should probably just expunge the extortion, the identity theft, the forced labor, the conspiracy to commit identity theft, exploiting of a child, forced labor. Wire fraud, and so we should expunge all those, huh?
It took me a second to get your humor because like there's also a little delay. I was like, is he making a joke? I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I know. Sorry, I just yeah, but so like, what do we do about those other ones, right? Because like we got to convince everyone that Keith is like,
bro, he's still no. It didn't take you a second. It didn't take you a second. It definitely. I don't think he still got it. I don't know how the fuck he broke character and the dude still hasn't gotten it. What the fuck?
A cool dude.
Bro, I swear to God, people in cults are literally like, they're just wired a different way. There's no other explanation for this, man. There is no other explanation for what is happening, what we're watching right now. I do not get it. This is just a clear-cut example. You just like broke your brain and then rebuilt it in such a weird way.
I just wanted to just make one other comment because you said, as I know you were being facetious about all these other charges.
Yeah.
Mistitious. Not a word, dog.
Yeah.
If you again, there.
By the way, the subtitles correctly said facetious, but that's not what he was saying. He was not saying facetious. He said mistitious. Subtitles said facetious. I don't think he said that.
These buzzwords of sex trafficking and forced labor. Yes, those on its face value sound horrific.
Right, but
buzzwords.
What does it even mean?
Exactly. If like when you think of, if you heard that you're, someone that got charged with sex trafficking.
Yeah, locked to a radiator forced to do like webcam work, or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what, and that's that, by the way, is a real thing. Sex trafficking, people being kidnapped, forced into sex slavery is a real thing. If you actually look at the evidence of what
a real thing that Keith Raniere did, by the way, or attempted. Together,
they had come up with an experience where, and this is literally, if you look at the transcripts, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
One woman, this 29-year-old, received oral sex from another woman, and no money was exchanged. She took a bus from Brooklyn to Albany.
Right.
And they convicted Keith Raniere of sex trafficking.
Just because she was kinky.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Right.
The same woman, the 29-year-old actress, she's also the victim of the alleged forced labor.
Mm-hmm.
This is a woman who had to transcribe 5 hours of video for a memorial, and she read 50 articles that Keith had written, and she gave feedback on them and actually loved reading them.
Mm.
He was convicted of forced labor.
Because she wasn't paid for her work, or what? So how do we do the sexual exploitation of a child? Because that one sounds so bad. So how do we break that one down?
Yeah, it's just like Swerves. It isn't rape unless money is involved. I fucking knew it. Yeah.
Photo, they weren't deemed child pornography.
And I mean, if you saw the photo, which you should get a hold of those photos, they probably look like.
What the fuck? Ethan, come on now. Ethan's like, yeah, find the CP.
I've not seen
adults.
I have not seen the photos.
Oh, you haven't.
Those are, those are contraband photos.
Right.
But my point is,
wait. Okay, so okay, got it. So you recognize it. Got it. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you see the photo? I'm sorry. Huh. Interesting. That's a bit of an admission, I think, right? Are they? Is that CP then? Because I thought it was fake. What happened?
Of a naked woman who they deemed was underage because of the file dates. So just the last thing is the sexual exploitation of a minor.
Yeah, that's so weird. Why is it contraband if the fucking photos are of an adult woman? Like, why did he have such an immediate reaction to that? You know what I mean? It's like, odd.
Is because supposedly they were able to.
He keeps saying underage woman. Oh my God. Like you can't say woman when you're talking about a 13-year-old, and also like underage woman is an insane thing to say.
Wait, I don't know if you're being.
No, I'm dead serious. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's scary the world we live in where, like, and people can just say whatever, and then like, oh, you just change the data on a file card, and that's all it takes.
You know what's wild about this? And a chatter also pointed this out. This is a problem that you come to when you don't get your ducks in order, okay? When you want to tackle an issue head on and immediately rush to hit every avenue, right? Oftentimes, the thing that people do is set up a different, like, logical box, right? But internally, some of the avenues that you're tackling immediately contradict one another. Now, what I mean by that is, if it is true that the FBI planted this evidence, why did they have to tamper with the date and time? If it's an adult person that they planted, why didn't they plant CP? The FBI owns plenty of CP. The FBI was the facilitator of the largest trove of child pornography on the planet. Why didn't they use one of that? Why did they use an adult woman? If it's an adult woman in the fucking footage, why do you immediately say it's contraband? You know what I mean? Yeah, by the way, what I said is true, for the record, about the FBI. It just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense that, even in the new logical boundaries that this person is trying to operate, because they're so overzealous about like tackling every fucking avenue and hitting it from all angles, they end up basically contradicting themselves.
It's crazy. It's scary.
Yeah, it's the same argument. Yeah, exactly. It's the same argument of the January 6ers. It was Antifa, but also don't arrest them. If it's Antifa, why not arrest them? Antifa is bad and they did something wrong.
Or to a room, for nearly 2 years in an attempt to force Daniela to work for him. And then Daniela was told that if she left the room, she would be sent to Mexico without any identifying documents. So that's probably what they mean by like sex trafficking or...
This is really good stuff for Ethan to like inevitably do this exact same thing to someone who's defending Andrew Tate, by the way. When the investigation is concluded and more evidence comes out about Andrew Tate's behavior, Andrew Tate's activities, and how he actually coerced people, I told you, like, I've told Ethan this before about as well, that this is like a perfect analogous situation. Chat, calm the fuck down. We're going to move on. I'm not going to rewind. It's very long. Okay. It is a perfectly analogous situation. And you can use the exact same tactics. Okay. Yeah. He couldn't hold a smirk. I got it. Calm down.
Of her reading like from her lines from the court transcript. So they're reading it verbatim from what she said in court as she was testifying under oath. And at the very end of this episode, as she's talking about how she's been
Bro, it's so crazy how you can make like coerced sexual acts on a minor seem horrific by playing creepy music over it. It's like, bro, you've lost the fucking plot, dog. Like, when words like that are coming out of your fucking mouth, you've literally lost your mind, okay? Like, they should probably institutionalize motherfuckers just for the safety of others. You know what I mean? Like, like, yo, dude, obviously, like, listen, it's so crazy how you can just make anything scary. You know, you take footage of a guy going to a playground and just like randomly shooting children looks so scary by playing creepy music over it. It's like, otherwise it's a totally normal act.
But I want to ask you about your experience with Tourette syndrome. I'm super, super fascinated by this. Hasanabi actually has been helping people in these incredible ways. For example, you had debilitating Tourette syndrome, right? And then I think you joined Nexium, and Keith was able to help you overcome it totally.
I've always talked about Tourette's is like there's an itch and there's a scratch.
Oh yeah.
And the Tourette's is that uncomfortable feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ticking is me scratching that itch.
Yeah, tell Ethan, right? Ethan. You know, it's like an itch and a scratch, man. Yeah.
And,
okay.
Sadly, almost no one in the world knows about it. It came out after, the negative press, the real negative press, started coming out about 5 years.
Bro, sadly, no one saw our propaganda piece that we did about a man faking Tourette's and faking the curing of his Tourette's. So no one saw it. It's just so sad. Nobody will look at like the other fake shit that Keith Raniere is doing and only focusing on the very real, horrific crimes that he has committed.
I mean, let's not beat around the bush. That sounds like
I just
cure.
don't say, the reason I don't say cure is because also I just don't think of it as something that you can cure in that way. I have like a completely different, I don't even think of it as a medical disorder in that way now. But I just want to be super clear. Is that I don't know.
Bro, he said Tourette's is just vibes, dog. A lot of these disorders are just fucking vibes based. Also, another hallmark of cults is like how much they weaponize things that, you know, things that are studied in psychology while simultaneously shitting on psychology and just the medical industry in general, medicine in general. It's always very interesting. It's like, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, every cult does this, by the way. Scientology does this. I mean, L. Ron Hubbard was like very notorious for his anti-psychiatry, anti-psychology takes. It's very interesting. It's science denialism, but there's an element above that. It's not just science denialism. It's specifically shitting on psychology while simultaneously using things that you would only know about if you actually studied psychology to break people down. It's like looking at the components of like love bombing or gaslighting or whatever the fuck and being like, oh, none of that shit's real, while also learning how to do it and like using it to your advantage. Forbidden Risk style. Exactly.
The courses were different than any other thing that I did is because by going on that exploration.
He lied, right? He never actually had Tourette's, right? Like, I don't think you can like quote unquote cure it. He's just lying. He hasn't admitted it, but yes. Okay.
4 out of 100.
Okay.
So to call that Tourette's is not, I don't even think of it as Tourette's. I think of it as I'm a person that has a body and all of us have uncomfortable.
4 out of 100. Yeah. For him, it's just turned into defending convicted sex trafficker instead of, I guess, what was it? Someone was saying that earlier. It was saying the N-word. So he just like, he reappropriated it into defending a convicted sex trafficker. I think that's what happened. That's why he doesn't realize what's going on.
14 years ago from a local news story or something like that, right? That covered your story.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I literally revealed it right. Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
And did you? Yeah. So, okay, let me watch it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were about to press play.
Oh yeah. No, I'm going to press play right now. Okay. Are you okay if I press play?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I thought you were hitting it.
Okay.
Trigger warning, I suspect.
Can you play it, Dan?
Oh,
it's on me. It's on me.
Suspense.
You got to hit play.
Are you ready, Mark?
I'm ready.
Okay.
A day before my 17th birthday is when I really ran into the greatest obstacle I had ever encountered with my Tourette syndrome.
A St. Louis area teenager who says he has Tourette syndrome claims he was kicked off a Greyhound bus in Indianapolis because of his disability.
I got on the bus and they made an announcement about my Tourette syndrome. And earlier in line, a lady had heard me saying some inappropriate words. And she stood up and she said, well, how come he can say this word?
With that, this Clayton High Jr., who turned 17 tomorrow, says he was kicked off the bus in Indianapolis.
So your tick was actually to say the N word, right?
Yeah, at different times I was saying what would be the worst thing that I could possibly say in a given moment. So, you know, if I was around a fat person, I would want to tick you're fat. If I was around a black person, I would want to tick the N word.
So at the time,
it was a nightmare.
At the time you were on a bus and with, it seems like from this image, predominantly black, and then you said the N word on the bus.
Bro, his tick was just being Italian, it seems.
Yeah, to make a long story short, I had told the bus driver about my Tourette's before I got on, and then I got on the bus. Then I was taking it more, and obviously customers were complaining, and rightfully so. I mean, they had no idea what was going on. And then the bus driver, you know.
I have a theory for you.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. I think you actually fake having Tourette's. Yeah, I think you actually don't have it.
Well, I'm open to.
Here's my.
What did you think I had?
Well, let me just break it down. I think this is kind of a funny thing. I doubt this is what happened, but maybe you just called someone the N-word on the bus, and then you're like, oh no, I have Tourette's. Because what's interesting to me, and I know that's funny, but what's interesting to me is that you've made like a whole career being a motivational speaker about how you cured your Tourette's and stuff, and that's kind of become like a big part of your identity. But what's interesting is, as somebody with Tourette's, I actually have Tourette's. I know it's not curable. So I just find that claim to be absolutely a pseudoscientific, crazy claim that has no backing in science or at all. And I think you're actually, in my opinion, right, as someone with Tourette's, I think you're scamming people.
Well, first off, did you say that you have Tourette's?
Okay. This part is so funny because in his mind, I wonder what he's thinking right now. He's like, wait a minute, I found a valuable ally with a massive platform who is gonna like defend the sex trafficking pedophilia guy, but me faking Tourette's is a bridge too far. Uh-oh. I think I fucked it up. Like, what is he thinking in this situation? In his mind, the record scratch moment is like, oh, fuck. I thought things were going so well. I thought I found a new ally. He's like, oh, fuck, man. That's a bridge too far, I guess, for this guy.
I do have Tourette's.
Yeah, he fumbled the bag. The Tourette's bag was the bridge too far, you know?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know. That's why I was so surprised when you emailed me, because I was like, I have Tourette's and I also fucking hate Andrew Tate. I've like talked like continually and openly, relentlessly about what a piece of shit he is and how much I hate him. And what's interesting too, Mark, is that I've also talked about how much I hate Keith and Nexium and what a psycho he is. So when I got your email, I was like, this is incredible. And I could totally see how it is you fell into a cult, because you clearly don't do any research.
Oh, oh no.
You know, when I saw when I was watching one of your videos, I thought I saw you ticking. And so it did cross my mind. I said, I wonder if he has Tourette's.
Yeah, I do.
Why would you? That's so interesting. Why would you? Why would you think someone would fake it? That's a pretty messed up thing for someone to fake.
No, I agree, but you've made a good living from faking it, doing like motivational stuff and writing books and stuff like that. And it's just as far as I know, and that's just a theory, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I just have Tourette's myself.
I mean, dude, ask that question to literally 90% of people on Instagram, and it's not even just Tourette's. People fucking do way wilder shit.
Oh, but obviously I don't know anything about you, so it's just a theory. But I just think that you can't.
I just want to understand what he watched that he thought was going to make Ethan like a non-hostile interviewer to him. Like, what did he watch? There's no shot he watched anything, right? What did he watch?
That's not the point of trying to find people that love him. It's if you can find people, even if somebody hates someone, the question is, do we believe that there should be due process in this country? And are we okay with government officials or FBI agents committing?
Bro, this guy literally did. Dude, that's so funny. I'm imagining he just looked at these titles and was like, yeah, okay, this guy is open-minded. That's all it takes for me. He came back and said, why does it lie? Oh, dude, that's awesome. That is so good. God, that's juicy.
Committing crimes to convict a man. So by somebody not liking it.
Yeah, for those of you who weren't around earlier today to see this, a similar version of this happen to your boy, me, okay? Here is the former G2 esports executive doing the exact same thing, but with Andrew Tate and myself instead of Ethan and Keith Raniere and Andrew Tate. Here is Carlos Ocelot saying, it is fair and honorable to acknowledge when people you don't fancy do the right thing. It honors Hasan to state the truth, even if it alienates his audience. I'm genuinely and positively surprised. Good for him. Handshake emoji. More information to come out. I think it is a human rights violation what they're doing to Andrew Tate. I'll come out and say it. I want more information to come out. 7-second clip. Like, how do you watch a 7-second clip and go, that's probably the truth? There's no additional investigation necessary. Yeah. So I quote tweeted it with a 36-second clip. Yeah, they're looking for anything and everything. Look, I just want more information to come out. And I think it is a human rights violation what they're doing to Andrew Tate. I'll come out and say it. Like, all things considered, the fact that they won't let him shave his fucking head. I mean, dude, come on. Actually, like, you know, I'm a disability advocate, as you guys know. I'm a disability activist, as you guys know. And one of the things that I obviously consider a disability is the follically challenged community. And I think it's vile that this follically challenged man is being... Yeah, they're looking for anything. Dude, come on, dude. Yeah. He's so fucking dumb. Of course you're an Andrew Tate fan. Never mind, he's still a dog cunt. Dude, that's... Why would he post his own L? His whopping L. I love that. Anyway, let's continue.
Currently, he's been sitting in the shoe for over 200 days. So they're basically torturing a U.S. citizen while at the same time he has filed...
I love, like, when the only time you can get some of these Americans to fucking be like prison abolitionists is when they're defending a sex criminal, an international sex criminal. It's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I do believe that like solitary confinement is torture, okay? But it's so stupid that like the only vocal advocates of this in the media are always defending the worst motherfuckers, dude.
About how I completely overcame my Tourette's with Nexium.
Yep.
So when you say completely overcame, I just assumed that meant like that you have a cure for it.
Yeah,
Bro, he's still trying to defend. Oh my God. It's fucking bananas that he's still trying to defend like the sex cult leader. And he's using anything and everything he can. It's crazy.
Well, we can all agree on we can all agree on photos. Here's photos of his initials being branded into women who accused him of running a clandestine sex cult. Here is his.
By the way, Andrew Tate did this shit too. Instead of branding them, he tattooed them, but it's the same shit, same principle.
Branded into their skin.
I said to you in the email of that if you want to have more of an open, rational conversation where we can challenge things. In the first half of this, I talked to you about some of the facts that it sounded like you were agreeing with. I didn't realize that you were just trying to play me. The things that I said, I stand by. I don't need to change anything, even though now I know that I guess you were trying to have sort of a gotcha moment. But like I said, with the photos, with the woman, the HBO thing, the sex trafficking, which is a single sex act with no money.
He says, let's be rational and defend the sex trafficker cult leader, bro, who was caught with child pornography. Like, man, this kind of makes so much more sense. Like, the Andrew Tater Tot dynamic makes so much more sense when you think about human beings like this existing on the planet. You know what I mean? Especially because, like, Andrew Tater Tot did the exact same shit, but then also on top of that, like, he had clout, which is something that is, like, demonstrably important for a lot of the younger generation. And also on top of that, he, like, god damn, bro. Also on top of the clout, he was, you know, he was breaking motherfuckers' brains in a similar way. That's crazy.
Money exchange. I have.
Oh, he's dead. That's a correction. Let me issue a factual correction.
No, this is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about the case. Obviously, I know of Charles Manson because of of how it's been. You know, he's a very popularized name.
He's probably innocent too, right?
Well, I don't know, but what I do believe and what I'm absolutely will stand by is that I do think no matter how hated a person is, we should be absolutely open to questioning narratives. We should be able to question.
I think.
Bro, you could make this argument about Adolf Hitler, by the way. Like this dude is like one step removed from being like, well, Adolf Hitler didn't fucking kill every Jew personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? It's like, come on, you just got to go against the narrative, dog. You got to go against the narrative. What the fuck? This is absolute bananas. And for someone saying, are men okay? This cult also had a lot of prominent women, okay? Like, it wasn't Allison Mack or whatever. Like, there are plenty of female defenders of Keith Raniere, just like this dude, some of which are still operating within Hollywood. One that is ironically, or I guess unironically, friends with that fucking conservative guy. What's his name? God damn it. The fucking conservative guy that constantly talks about, like, LGBT grooming people. Conceptual James. Yes. Conceptual motherfucking James, dude. Allison Mack is just as bad. She's his Ghislaine.
Witnesses, we should be able.
Here's you and Keith. He has really nice skin. Fuck.
Such a dumb
thing.
I'm
trying to have.
No, I don't want to do that. Let me ask you this. I don't even blame you because honestly, in a sense, you're kind of the victim of you know what I mean? Like, you're part of this organization that clearly has some powerful hold over you. And I'm really sorry that you're involved in this. And I just, like, Keith is gone. He can't hurt you anymore.
For the record, I don't believe this man is a victim. Okay? I think he's like a victim in the sense that, like, he got duped into the cult. But, like, he's still, like, at a certain point, instead of saving yourself, if you are still advocating for this dude after, like, you know, the door is closed on the fucking guy, he can't hurt you, he's in fucking jail, you are personally advocating for a guy, you're riding for a guy that, I mean, you're a bad guy, you know what I mean? You're a predator yourself, you know what I mean? Like, one of the best examples that he is not a good person and not a victim, okay? One of the best examples of that is what I saw with that Tourette's website. Like, he is still to this day using his Tourette's grift to somehow turn around and, like, defend Keith Raniere. That's so fucking insane, dude. That's insane.